So how does a father's love for his firstborn son end up dooming an entire kingdom? It sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what we're going to dive into. It all comes down to one single choice, a quiet moment that basically set a whole dynasty on a collision course with ruin. Let's get right into it and see how this whole thing started. All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in the incredible city of Hastinapura. And this wasn't just any capital city. People saw it as a paradise right here on Earth. I mean, they called it an ocean of palaces. Can you imagine? It's supposed to be this place humming with holy chants, smelling like flowers, just a perfect, thriving kingdom at the absolute peak of its game. Everything seems perfect. So, right at the heart of all this is Queen Gandhari. And because of her devotion, the great sage Vyasadeva gives her this incredible boon. She's going to have 100 sons, and each one will be as powerful as her husband, the king. Sounds amazing, right? But here's the catch. This blessing came with a serious test of patience. Gandhari gets pregnant, but the pregnancy just goes on and on for 2 full years. The anxiety must have been just off the charts. And then, just when you think it can't get any more stressful, her anxiety boils over into pure envy. News gets to her that another queen, Kunti, has already given birth to this beautiful baby boy out in the forest. And Gandhari just snaps. In a moment of total frustration, she strikes her own womb. But what comes out, it's not a baby. It's this hard, cold lump of flesh, like an iron ball. I mean, that amazing boon, suddenly it feels like a total curse. Okay. So the sage, Vyasadeva, he steps in. He's not going to let his boon fail. He does his thing, divides up that mass of flesh, and basically saves the day. Or so it seems. Fast forward, and the very first of those sons, Duryodhana, is finally born. But this is no happy occasion. The moment he arrives, it's like the entire world just screams in protest. And we're not talking subtle signs here. These omens were horrifyingly clear. You've got vultures and jackals, the animals you associate with death, howling and screaming. Fires are just randomly breaking out everywhere. This isn't just a bit of bad weather, you guys. This is nature itself throwing up every possible red flag, yelling that something is deeply, deeply wrong. So naturally, the king, Dhritarashtra, and his whole court are freaking out. And into this absolute chaos steps Vidura. He's the king's wisest advisor, the guy everyone listens to. He takes it all in. The howling wind, the animal cries, and he lays down a prophecy that is just bone-chilling. And Vidura does not mince words. He's brutally direct. He tells the king this child will be the exterminator of his race. He says the baby must be cast away at once. I mean, just let that sink in. He's not just saying the baby is bad luck. He's saying this tiny infant is going to wipe out their entire family. And look, this isn't just Vidura being cruel. This is cold, hard political logic rooted in ancient law. He's arguing for a terrible but necessary sacrifice based on this principle you see right here. You can sacrifice one person to save the family. It's the ultimate needs of the many argument. He's putting an impossible choice to the king, your son's life or the future of your entire people. And that right there, that's the core of it all, isn't it? The life of your child, your firstborn, the one you've waited so long for, or the survival of your kingdom. Seriously, put yourself in his shoes for a second. What do you do? What would you choose? So, in the end, King Dhritarashtra hears the prophecy. He gets the logic, he understands the stakes, but he just can't do it. He cannot give up his son. And the decision that changes everything, it's not some big royal announcement. It's just silence. A slow shake of his head, a simple gesture to give the baby to the queen. And in that one quiet moment, a father's love overrules a king's duty. And for a while, it really seemed like he'd made the right call. In the next month, the other 99 sons and their sister are all born, perfectly healthy. The palace is just filled with celebrations. All that joy, all these new babies. It was really easy to just forget about all those scary omens. But here's the crucial part. They chose to ignore it. It was a willful act. They actively dismissed the evil omens. I mean, when you've got 100 healthy boys all looking like future warriors, it's pretty tempting to tell yourself that the prophecy was just wrong. So they pushed that danger away, but of course, it was still there, lurking.
Okay, so while everyone in Hastinapur is celebrating inside this little bubble of denial, a completely different story is playing out somewhere else. Far, far away from the palace and its dark secret, up on Saptasrota mountain, the other side of the family is growing up.
And this really brings it all into focus, doesn't it? The two paths that were created by that one single choice. On one side, you have the family in the palace, their whole world built on ignoring a terrible truth. And on the other, you have the Pandavas, growing up out in nature, totally in sync with the world. One story starts with a secret buried in darkness, the other starts in the light. You can just feel they're headed for a collision, can't you? So that leaves us with a really big question, right? Was the kingdom's fate already sealed by prophecy the second those omens showed up? Or was it sealed by a human choice? That quiet, pivotal moment when a father's love was just stronger than his duty as a king. Maybe it makes you wonder if the most dangerous prophecies aren't the ones we're told, but the ones we decide not to listen to.